My name's Rhapsody, the name of this character is Mooney the Astral Disciple, and I am going to win with them. Eventually. You can't keep a good them down. Especially not me. I didn't even go for the risky option this time. Are you proud of me? Let's choose a Star Blessing at the very start of this run. Every 8 times I deal Purification to an enemy, gain a boost. Whenever I or a Sentinel deals Corruption to an enemy with at least 3 Corruption, I gain a Moonlight. Every 8 safe diets I play, refresh my virtues. I'm kind of keen on doing the Moon Shard. This seems like a good way for me to try and get into the Hex Die build. And I'd like to do that, for what it's worth. That's why I'm prioritizing it. Twilight Sigil! Creatures with the Twilight Sigil gain X Purification whenever a die is converted. There's also Ascend, enhance all die from your hand until the end of the enemy's turn. I mean, I'm kind of keen to just take that by default. And then Astral Calling. Choose a die from your dice, draw pool to draw and roll. I'm gonna take the Ascend by default, literally just because in the base deck it's sick as hell. No, I'm not gonna do that. I almost did though. Forge Purify. Twilight Sigil. Enhance on Purification. On conversion, rather. I do intend to convert things. Relatively commonly. Defensive Light, a higher Light Shield. I mean... I'm gonna go Defensive Light. I'm still leaving open as much of a possibility that I go into mostly Hex Die. Or as far into Hex Die as I am capable of getting. Let's just exclusively damage the enemy. We gave them some light shield, so they're going to be able to give themselves less corruption here. They only give me 2 corruption, so I don't even get to unlock all of my spiciest things. I'm going to use a Minor Purify on both of my worst sides. Hey, I'm going to do that again on my worst side. The enemy now is going to do 5 damage to me, which I'm all behind. They do 2 damage directly, and they overcorrupt themselves for another 3 damage to us, giving us access to our ability to draw, as well as do 4 damage directly to the enemy, as well as our reroll. Ooh, enhancements available. Not bad. Let's enhance one of the ones that has 1 on it. And in fact, I have lethal in hand with a single conversion. Corruption purified. New Moon Ray! Deal 2 purification die for each safe die you have in your dice pool. There's Ingenious Touch. Change up to 4 dice from your hand and to purify 1 actions until the end of the enemy's next turn. Ingenious Touch is actually pretty good at nullifying the effects of Hex Die, because it doesn't change a corrupt action to a purify 1. It changes whatever the face is. Including the Dissolve Life over on Downfall Strike there. There's also just a Purify side, there's an Enhance, and then there's Downfall Strike. You know what? I'm gonna go with a big Downfall Strike. Money. 26. So if I turn down the next 4 dice, I can forge and dupe. They're gonna have to be pretty bad dice for me to do that. Okay, I'm gonna do the 3 corrupt to self. Now I'll re-roll. Dang. The enemy intends to do 4 damage to me, that's fine. Actually, I'll use my risky die to do 2 damage to myself and then heal up and then gonna trash the enemy a little. There was a much better way of doing that. However, I've got access to all of my virtues now. Solid draw, some damage to the enemy. And honestly, I could reroll, but it doesn't get much better than my hand at the moment. Sure, I'll give myself the possibility of actually dealing a damage to the enemy. Hey, it turns up! There we go. One more damage to you, buddy. I'll happily take one more damage from you to re-unlock our final virtue of drawing another die. I love having 5 die in hand, effectively. Consistently as this character. Hey, there we go, the 25 I was looking for. Get him! Got him. Forge Purify, nope. Full Moon Ray, deals 2 additional purification for each hex die you have in your vault. Well, I'm taking that. Silver Snare. Change a die from an enemy into a self-corrupt action 14. I don't really have a payoff for that happening. Draw 2 balance die? I have 3 balance die. Drawing balance die is actually pretty good for me. I can and will do that. But now going to the Forge shop feels worse. I get to choose up to 2 dice here. I mean, I don't have to forge a 200. I could forge a 150 and then duplicate. Without getting much more money, without getting any more money, in fact. I don't want to dupe the Full Moon Ray, because it's payoff for hex die I have in my die pool, and the payoff is relatively small as well. I don't have any way to get hex die in my dice pool. I would have to rely on getting that in these chests. Buying and upgrading a Sentinel would cost 150 and then another 150. So if this random event or ambush gave me 50 shards at least. Alright, let's try that. Spend 100 star shards, 10% chance of gaining a star blessing, sacrifice a heart, 50% chance of gaining 2 star blessings. You've found an ornate Apian fountain that perfectly reflects the starry night sky. On the bottom of its front is written, "To call the heavens, you have to detach from what is mundane, or sacrifice what's important." I'm gonna sacrifice what's important. You approach the fountain and face your reflection in the water. Unexpectedly, a force pulls you into the fountain. You feel an overwhelming force spinning your body as part of you slips away. I sacrifice a heart, and you blink and find yourself in front of the fountain again, but nothing happens. Dang. Worst possible outcome. I'm gonna take some star shards and move onwards. Oh, that's tough. A lot of opportunity there to have gotten more powerful. I can't help but notice we didn't. Just straight up take out the enemy there. Love drawing a 25 on turn 1. I allow the enemy to get me to my Virtue of Reroll. I've gained a Moonlight because I dealt 3 corruption to the enemy. Which is actually pretty good, because they've just included a hex die into our pool, and they're including another hex die into our pool now. Draw 2 balance die. Thank you. Definitely re-roll the negatives. Deal 1 purification to a target, 1 additional purification for each hex die you have in your pool. It just doesn't feel like that's worth. Seems so minimal. I mean, the balance die is there to help me deal with that. Ingenious touch the hex sides down to something much more usable. Well, Moonlight. Whenever I play a hex die, all targets receive 1 purification. I mean, all targets. That's including myself. That's a lot more impactful than I otherwise would have thought. First things first, let's re-roll these 2, because they're 2 negative. Now one of them's positive, I'll use it to draw 2 balance die. Got a balance ray for 5 purification, 1 by base, 4 for the additional hex die that I have in my pool. Unfortunately, I do have to damage myself there, but I still purify the enemy. Yeah, I guess this is going to be kind of survivable, at least. There's a reroll for our worse. If I convert that 1 corrupt into a 1 purify, I can then enhance it up to 6. Purge this die for some AoE damage via Moonlight, and then use 3 at the end to take out the enemy. New Moon Ray! Again, nose. Twilight Sigil. Deal damage to an enemy every time a dice is converted? No. Forge Corrupt. Change the die from your hand into a Corrupt 12 action the rest of the run. Nope. Skip. Thank you! Obsessed Analysis. Apply 6 Light Shield to any target, add a wound hex die into your draw pool. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for with this build. Every 4 times you deal purification to enemies, you receive a purification. Whenever an enemy die is rerolled, that enemy receives 3 purification, and while you have 1 heart, you deal 2 additional purification. I'm gonna take the Karmic Brooch as another way to try and boost my own health while I'm trying to do the shards. So I can destroy, and then I could go for the Forge Shop. The big thing about the Forge Shop right now is, like, only really Obsessed Analysis? I guess Draw Balance is kind of good for me too. There's another thing that I could dupe enhance. I should do it before it gets much more expensive next floor. Okay, here's a Destruction. I kind of want to get rid of the Minor Enhance, but it is still technically useful, even if the other sides are... Well, the other sides, at least being 3 corruptions, still trigger the Moonlight. Stellar Cleanse is probably the easiest thing to actually remove. Mm-hmm. Ooh, an Astral Calling Sight. A3 Doom, refresh your virtues, not especially interested in that. 10 purification to any target. Choose a die from your draw pool to draw and roll. Discard up to 3 dice from your hand. If you do, deal 3 purification to a random enemy X times, where X is the amount of die discarded. That might be actually a good way for me to deal with Hex die. You know what? Yeah. I think maybe I do want inventive in this build. And I can put it over the top of the draw balanced. And then I can even dupe that twice. Well, actually, what do I want to dupe twice? Downfall Strike is a boring option in a little bit. You know, I'm gonna do it. And then I duplicate for draw balance once. And then I duplicate for draw balanced again. It's a lot of draw power and discard power in the deck. Sacrifice a heart. This one will give me a star blessing at least. Whenever an enemy die is converted, that enemy receives 12 purification. Every 8 balanced die you play, draw a safe or a risky die, it's kept between battles, and then whenever enemies are rerolled. I'll take the additional draw again, and I do have a lot of balanced die in the deck. I've got 4. That's pretty significant. I should just be able to slowly work my way through this battle. Let's do 3 self-damage. The Moonray is not especially useful here for us. I'm gonna do 2 more damage to myself and draw. Then let's get 5 light shields so I don't have to worry about the enemy causing me an issue here. And I can... I mean, realistically, I shouldn't hit you for 1 damage. Just gets you closer to your next vengeful stab. The enemy intends to apply minimize to me, but they're not using their AoE. Yeah, it's about as good as it really gets. And my turn. Wow. Nothing but net, baby! Everything's negative. Let's go for a reroll on our 2 balanced die. They can hit their inventive side to save me if they don't want to hit anything else. Balanced, draw 2. Great. 4 damage to the enemy and remove 1 of their vengeful stab costs. I want to heal myself by 1. And actually, I'm going to heal myself more. Because then I'm going to discard all 3 of these to do 3 instances of damage to the enemy, causing them to vengefully stab me back. And in doing so... Actually, you know what? I will re-roll yours and see if I can get it away from... Ooh, 4 to me is actually perfect. Now I get to unlock all my virtues by the end of the turn, and the enemy doesn't over-corrupt. No 2 ways around this one. I gotta re-roll the Dissolve Life. Now let's re-roll both of the giantly negative ones. 25 straight to the enemy, 4 straight to the enemy. 2 to myself allows me to draw. And that draw allows me to draw 2 more balance die. I'm gonna Light Shield to defend myself, and then attack the enemy once. I'll end my turn here. With this Light Shield, I can stay on the same HP value and just wait for my virtues to be back. Time to draw. I really need more sources of Moonlight in this deck and more sources of Hex die. That said, I do like the draw build we've got going on here. 4 damage straight to the enemy. I will heal myself here. Courtesy of the fact I next intend to actually just discard these 3. Enemy attacks me. Unfortunately, I block it. They overcorrupt. They attack me again. No, they give themselves doom. Damn. But they will attack me one more time very soon, and then I'm gonna get my virtue, and then it's over for you. The Sage's Guard counter is kept between battles, so I should use balance die if possible. I have no balance die. Perfect. I've drawn exactly 2 balance die, which is exactly how many more balance die I need to play before I end the match. I played them, murder the enemy, and now the first balance die I play at the start of the next fight is going to draw a risky die for us. Unknown device, with random ones still. Dice drive over there with the possibility of drawing die. I still love that, I always have. I'm gonna take the dice drive. It's good. I also have enough to upgrade it as well. Mind Wreck. Deal 7 purification to all targets and add a Dizzy Hex die to the ball. Great. AoE damage with Hex die. Purification and additional purification for each conversion. No, Eureka. Convert up to 2 dice from your hand for the rest of the run. I'm going for the Mind Wreck. We're doing it. Hex die build. Woohoo! Give me one that gives me Hex die into my deck, please. Increase purification received by all targets by 2. Increase corruption received by you by 1. Oof. Oofy doofy. That was not good. Yeah! Condemned Reliquary! Draw an additional die per turn at the start of each battle. Add 3 wounded Hex die to your draw pool. Yep. The other is Unstable Bubble, by the by. You deal 1 additional purification at the start of each battle. Apply 1 death bomb to a random enemy. I'm so glad to see this Reliquary. It's time. This is the build. Capital T, capital B. I do want to improve my Sentinel. No, I'm gonna go for the removal. I'm gonna get rid of this Minor Purify as well. I think I need to focus on a little bit more removal. Beautiful. Draw 2 balanced. Draw 1 anything. So you have, when defeated, apply 2 doom to all targets. At the start of its turn, increases over corruption by 1. When defeated, all targets receive 2 corruption. Currently, they intend to do 3 corruption to me total this turn. I'm going to over-corrupt their midliner, who will do another 3 to me. So, 3, giving me a Moonlight from Moonshard. Another 3 to you, giving me a Moonlight from Moonshard. And then I'm going to do 4 directly to you as well. So that triggers the 3 Moonlight that I have, because I played a Hex. So all targets receive 3 Purification in response to that. Now I'll deal 4 directly. 4 Purification, that is. I've got a balance die for 7 Purification. It's getting 2 additional for each Hex die I have in the pool, which is 7 total right now for the 3 that I have in the pool. There's a Hex die, which heals me all the way back up. Ah, I should have played before I rolled. I don't want to roll this risky die because it could just hit the lose a heart side, and then I would have to lose a heart. So instead of that, just gonna make myself a little bit more comfortable. Perfect. Let's draw some balance die. Hey, that one's going to include some more Hex die in the draw. Love it. Managed to pick up an Enhance. Does have a target. I'll enhance and then start working on taking you out. That'll do it. So 1 damage, 3 Shadow Mantle to a random target, and then 1 damage to a random target, or 1 corruption, 3 Shadow Mantle, and then 1 random corruption. I'll do a reroll and then just end my turn. Or Purification to all enemies, and add a Dizzy Dice Hex to the pool. Cool. And then draw balance. So I will roll draw balanced, as well as my Sentinel, hoping for a draw on each of them, frankly. I get draw from my Sentinel. Or Purification to all targets. Two corruption in AoE, giving me the ability to reroll, which I don't want. And then I just do damage, completely invalidating what I even just tried to do. But I am very safe while doing all of this. They can't take that away from me. Let's throw in for the reroll. Completely fail. Do it again. Well, one of them allows me to draw. Gotta love that. I'm not gonna be able to take any damage this turn. Unfortunately, I've got a balanced die that will only target me. I unfortunately lose my Sentinel, but they also lose one of theirs. I should have looked at their overcorruption value. Could I have even protected myself, especially there? Not certain. What I do know, though, 3 corruption of the enemy, get another Moonlight. 3 more corruption in the enemy. Get another Moonlight. 4 more corruption in the enemy. That'll overload them and then they'll damage me. For 6. Obviously, I could have played all of my virtues first as well. The thing I'm trying to do, simply put, is take them out with the effective Moonlight. Why'd I have to lose another heart? Punch, Scholar Charge, and Expertise. Not especially intrigued by any of these. There's another Draw Balance. Here's another Full Moon Ray. I mean, Full Moon Ray got a lot better when I have 3 wound die at the very start of my deck already. Downfall Embrace is just a big corruption side. Nocturnal Updraft, Reach Purification, Reach Doom. Nope, skip. Serenity Aura, Precision, and Purify. Honestly, not especially interested in any of those either. And take the money and walk away. Go to the Broken Shrine, where I will sack a heart for a blessing. Especially because I intend to deal corruption to enemies. Like, this is great. Whenever you or a Sentinel deal corruption to an enemy, that enemy receives 5 purification. There's also, whenever you or a Sentinel deal corruption to an enemy with at least 4 corruption, convert that enemy die. So I convert it from a corrupt action into a purify action at the same time. That's pretty powerful. I'm going to take the Sun Eye, but I would love to see the other over the course of this run as well. I'm going to look at any 2 dice. I'm just looking for ones that give me the ability to include wounds. Sorry, hex die much more consistently. Nope. Moonbath. Destroy a hex die from your hand if you do deal 15 purification to all targets. If the destroyed die is a paralyzed hex die, additionally deal 15 purification 2 times. If you have Moonlight, trigger it. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for as a payoff in this build as well. Hello, Hevelius. Okay, Hevelius is doing 1 Nefarious Pulse to a random target at the start of its turn. All targets receive X corruption. I think the only thing I really want to reroll here is my ally, see if I get a draw. And I do. And it's a hex die. Ooh, but it's a good one for us. I'm gonna go 3 corruption to the mainline target, giving myself a Moonlight from my Moon Shard, and also dealing 5 damage to them with the Sun Eye. And then start throwing some damage out on the field. I get dealt 1 damage, Nefarious Pulse goes off, I get dealt 1 more damage, unlocking 2 of our virtues. I also have a Nefarious Pulse which goes off at the start of my turn, unlocking another. I'm gonna draw some die. Okay, let's re-roll the 2 that I drew. Unfortunately, I don't have a Hex die in hand. Would love to. I'm gonna self-heal by re-rolling to see if I get a draw from my ally. I do not. Oh, that's okay. Gonna keep my Sentinel around rather than just letting them die. Big ol' Nefarious Pulse there. All the way back to my second of my virtues. Let's go with the draw from our ally first. Another Hex die, love it. So if I do 4 to an enemy, they'll apply a random Nefarious Pulse to one of them. I think I'm okay with that. To one of their allies, beautiful. Let's reroll only my balance die, and in fact I do get, or the risky die that allows me to draw balance, and in fact I do get those balances. I'm going to start taking care of the allies, as I am starting to get a little bit concerned about them. Let's use this balance die to damage myself for another 4 damage to an enemy. I don't need to Hex die to keep myself around, I don't think. But to keep my Dice Drive, yes. There we go. And in fact, I won't even use my inventive die to discard for damage to the enemies there. Ooh, 7 damage to all enemies, as well as adding a dizzy Dice Axe to the bull. That's kind of exactly what I wanted. I don't want them doing their overcorruption consistently, is the thing. But that's how I get Moonlight, but also I don't need Moonlight to close out this battle at this point. I'll do some damage to myself, allowing me to draw, as well as refreshing my virtues. I've got 5 Hex die in the pool, so I'm dealing 6 Purification with this. That still feels too minimal to really, truly be impactful. I'll lose my Dice Drive this turn because I didn't shield it. Should have shielded it. Draw some risky die. Grand. Take a reroll for the most negative ones. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 damage to myself. And then the 2 healing and AoE from Moonlight. Those both happen at the same time, so I don't even unlock the virtue that was 3 damage down. Even though I took 4 damage and healed 2, I effectively only took 2 damage. I'm gonna heal myself all the way back to comfort. Unfortunately, this is starting to grow out of control, as there's, yeah, 7 damage dealt to me over the course of a turn. All of the negatives. Am I doing it again? Are we dying? Don't want to, please don't. Oh, boy. Alright, I'm gonna take a risk. I do 4 to myself, allowing me to draw. Do another 4 to the enemy. Gonna convert this. Do another 2 to the enemy. I can heal back up to 7. The thing is, the enemy does 5 damage to me at the start of their turn, and then at the start of my turn, I do another 2, so I'll die. So I need something additional to get me out of this. If I corrupt myself twice, I can draw. Looking for an out. That's probably not going to be it. Well, I heal myself back to full. Nefarious Pulse goes off for 5. And Nefarious Pulse goes off for 2. Yep. I'm playing too quickly. I need to slow down. I liked this. This was very, very useful. It was largely probably the only reason we were really getting as far as we were. I will say, for having as many negative hex die as I tried to include, because I didn't have another way of gaining Moonlight, they really didn't feel like they paid off. Like, these full moon rays, I wouldn't draft them again. They only were ever worthwhile because I had the 3 wound dice included into my draw pile at the very start, courtesy of a Black Hole Blessing. Without them, neither of these would have ever done almost anything. Obviously, Mind Wreck, Moonbath, Obsessed Analysis, I think these can work well together. Ingenious Touch for the possibility of minimizing the negative effects of those. I only took Downfall Strike so that I would actually have something to, you know, carry me along for a period of time. All of these draw balanced, very, very effective, very useful, very versatile. But these 2 really clunked up hard. I think the value would have to be significantly higher for me to want to take another full moon ray. Because, like, these are deal 1 additional purification for each hex die you have in your draw pool. 1. You have to have almost 9 for it to suddenly be worthwhile. I'm certainly finding the pieces of these different toolkits that I want to use and the pieces of this different toolkit that in the future I might not necessarily want to use as much. However, it's gonna have to be next episode that I defeat Mooney for the first time. By the way, my name's Moon Rhapsody, name of the game's Moon Astray. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. Here is playlist in the top left, YouTube recommendation down below, stream past the names of people so journalists supporting the Republic on patreon.com/AfterYouPlays at or above the thank tier who've already beaten Mooney. Special thanks this episode to Mr. Gibberish. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves and hopefully see you next time.